Rose Tennant is a frequent guest host for the Sean. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be with you in one moment. Rose Tennant is a frequent guest host for the Sean Hannity Show and host of the Rose Unplugged podcast. She also serves on the Moms for America Advisory Council. Please welcome Rose to our gala stage tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Hey. Oh, I love you back. Hey, listen. I got to ask the guys in the room something real quick. Have you ever seen this many beautiful women in one place in your life before? Oh, my gosh. You women are stunning, and I've talked to so many of you, and there's so many great stories out there. God bless you all, and thank you for being here. You know, it's interesting because tonight is the first night of Women's History Month, and the only reason we care about that is because we got a woman right here that's making history all the time, Kimberly Fletcher. We just love you, girl. This is the 20th anniversary of Moms for America, and we are so happy to have you here this evening. And I think you're going to really enjoy tonight's presentation. And you know what? There's a lot of gratitude here. Gratitude for meeting new people, gratitude for what each of us are doing to further the cause, and to give thanks to the one who deserves that thanks. We're going to ask Maria Wagner to come out and lead us in prayer.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Maria Wagner. I wanted to share with you, first of all, a verse that was on my heart when I was writing this prayer. And God put on my heart 2 Corinthians 3:17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Will you please bow and join me in prayer? Lord, we know our freedom comes from you, and we are so incredibly grateful for your Son, Jesus, who died for us so we can be free from the bondage of sin. We are so grateful for our country, the United States of America, and we are so very grateful to our forefathers who crafted our country's founding documents with your guidance and your word as its very foundation. And Father, we are so grateful for Moms for America, grateful for our first 20 years of service. May we strive to continue to protect that foundation our country was founded on. May we continue to carry that torch of freedom passed down to us from our forefathers to emblazon the future for our children. Lord, please continue to use us as your servants to bless, encourage, and embolden, inspire our moms all across the country. Please give us those divine appointments, those blessed collaborations with other like-minded organizations so we can all work together to protect our children and our children's future. May all we do as an organization honor you. Please guide us with your wisdom and discernment to protect that precious freedom. Thank you for the incredible opportunity to serve our moms. And thank you for the amazing Moms for America team that I know you put together. We are honored. We are so greatly blessed. We lift this all up to you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Maria is one of our national team leaders here, and I appreciate that prayer. It was so beautiful. And we're also very proud to bring to our stage tonight the beautiful voice of Natasha Owens, and she is here to lead us in the national anthem. Come on out, Natasha.
Greatest country on earth, don't we? Even with all of our faults, we are the lighthouse on the hill that people gravitate to. Why don't we stand and give reverence to the most amazing song?
Once so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the home of the brave. God bless you guys.
There was a class that did a study assignment that the teacher gave, making a list of what things, do you love about America? And after all the papers were turned in, not one student could think of anything that they could say that they loved about America. Nothing to love about America? I love everything about America, because in America you can innovate, you can have ideas, and you can follow your dreams. And the only person that can hold you back is you. I mean, there's no place like it on earth, and I just don't think children realize that today. And I 100% know that we can turn this around in one generation, because mothers are the last best hope of America. And that's what we do at Moms for America. We are providing that history, that heritage, that love of liberty. We're empowering moms to be able to teach and nurture a love of liberty in their homes, so that we'll have a generation of children who will rise up carrying the banner of liberty, so that we can not just restore the Republic, but secure it for generations to come. If you have parental guidance to watch a movie and you can't show something on TV or air it on the radio because you're trying to protect children, why would we not be doing the same thing in the classroom? From city halls to Supreme Court and school boards to Congress, we have had enormous impact over the last several years. Launching the cottage meetings was huge. That has really sparked and ignited the patriotism and activism within moms. We've not only flipped 43 school boards in 27 states, we have moved school board members from one side to the other. In several states, we've been able to get city council members on the city council. We've been able to get county supervisors on. We've supported sheriff's elections. We've been very engaged in Congress level as well as the state level in pushing bills and supporting bills that will protect children from genital mutilation. We've been able to testify through various different legislative bodies and in Congress talking about the importance of protecting women's sports. We've had press conferences. We did a great event with Epic Times, a joint event with them, our gender confusion event, so that we could start to move the needle in the right direction. We have put together a series of booklets on gender confusion, parental rights guide, CRT, social emotional learning, comprehensive sex education, and they're not just available to moms in English, they're available in Spanish, and we're developing them in Asian languages as well. So this year, by the end of the year, I will have been gone at least 300 days I have been in 37 states. I just met with moms in Sun Valley, Idaho. And so it's important that we're out there reaching them where they are and not expecting them to come to us. We are in a war. They are coming after our children. They're coming after families, our freedoms, everything that we hold dear. They're doing it in the schools. They're doing it in culture. They're doing it in video games. Every aspect of our society, everything that used to support us as parents is now going against us. And I am not going to allow any of my children or grandchildren to be a casualty in this war. And I want to reach as many mothers as possible so that they can make sure that their children and their grandchildren are not casualties of this war. God wins in the end, but I'm planning on winning a whole lot of battles in between now and then. Every mission has two parts, those who give and those who do. And when we come together, we are stronger together in fulfilling that mission. An investment in Moms for America is an investment in the future. And we literally hold the future of America in our hands. I pledge allegiance to the flag with liberty and justice for all. Good job.
You know what the Bible says about a vision? Without one, my people would perish. Kimberly, thank you for your vision. I remember, Kimberly, being in people's living rooms. That's where you started, just speaking to women in living rooms all across the country. And I want to mention Derek, too, because he's a blessing. If anybody's been with him when we've done events, you are such a huge blessing. What a great partner you are. God bless you. Kimberly, I'm so touched by you. You know, I talked to a couple of women while I was here these last few days, and there are stories throughout this room, stories of bold women. A teacher was telling me about how she had been treated after she stood up and talked about what was happening in the school, in the curriculum, and she was treated so very badly and threatened by it. She's not going to be on the stage. She's in the audience. There are women like this all throughout the country that are taking chances, that are not hesitating and going forward courageously. We can push through difficult times. And listen, I understand, because when we watch what happens and we see what happened during those school board meetings and things that you've been called and being put on lists because you stood up at a school board meeting, I understand that there would be some hesitancy. But tonight I want to encourage you to move beyond the hesitancy and give you some examples of those who have made great strides in what we now can be proud of in this country. Well, I'm actually going to go back really far for just a moment, if you don't mind. I have a couple of women I'd like to use as examples. Deborah in the Bible, she judged a nation, and then she led a general into battle for a victorious win. That was Deborah. There's Jochebed. Jochebed found a very clever way to protect her child. She put him in a basket into a river. You know who that is. Moses, who led his people out of slavery because of his mom. Abigail. I love this story, okay? So Abigail had to get clever too, because she had to make up for her husband's foolishness. Not like any of us have ever had to do that now, right? We don't do that. But she had to. But consequently, she saved an entire household because of her cleverness and her boldness. So of course we can't talk about any women in the Bible without mentioning Esther. She's been mentioned a lot. The scripture has been brought up a lot these last few days. And if you think about Esther, she had a great life. I mean, like, we look forward to doing this once a month. This lady was drinking wine with her girlfriends every night. They had the best wine, the best food. She had the best beauty products. She didn't have to worry about a thing, not one thing, until she did. Until her uncle Mordecai approached her and said, listen, an entire nation is going to be annihilated, and you are in a position to do something about that. Now, she hesitated. She was concerned. She was afraid. She said, if I do what you were asking me to do, he wanted her to approach the king. If I do this, I could die because you don't go before the king without an invitation to do so. And he said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, Esther. If you don't do this, God might raise up somebody else to do it. And how will you feel about that? Or you might just perish along with everyone else. And how do you feel about that? And then she said, you know what? Okay, I will do this thing. And if I perish, then I perish. And that's when he said to her, how do you know that you aren't here for such a time as this? Those are powerful words. We've said them a couple of times these last few days, but those are very powerful words. I'm reminded of the scripture that tells us that we are to run with perseverance the race that has been marked out for us. That's past tense. God already marked out a race for us to run. We've got to run this race, ladies. We've got to do it without looking to the left or the right. We have to keep our eyes on the goal, and that is to protect our children. And you know, the interesting thing about what Esther accomplished was that she didn't just deliver that Jewish nation. If you remember the story, she empowered the nation after that. And then I want an example, to give you an example of our founding fathers, because when we talk about hesitancy, it's normal. It's normal that we're concerned, that we're nervous, that we are hesitating before we go out and do that thing that we believe God has called us to do, because right now, we do stand to be criticized. We do stand to be challenged. Or as the teacher told me, she had groups of people coming out and threatening her. Yes. So there will be hesitancy. And let me give you another example of that with our founding fathers. When they were in that room, now you got to remember, these guys came from Europe. And in Europe, they told you what you were going to be. And you could only be as successful as your bloodline. If you didn't have that, you didn't really have anything. And not only was that dictated to them, but how they could worship was dictated as well. But our founding fathers believed that there was greatness that resides in every one of us. And all that was necessary to unleash that greatness was liberty. And they believed that liberty came from God and God alone and not from man. Because I'll tell you what, if it came from man, man can take it away from you. And we saw that, didn't we? And we're continuing to see it. So let's go back. Here they are. They're in the room. They're getting ready to sign this declaration. What a bold and courageous event this was. They are going to declare themselves separate and independent from tyrannical rule. And history books tell us that there was hesitancy in the room. They knew that it was the right thing to do, but they were afraid because, you know, we say these lines all the time, but think about what they mean. They knew that they were pledging to one another their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And many of them had to give up all three. So they knew what was going to happen. Wouldn't you be hesitant as well? So John Witherspoon, who could really read a room, stood up and delivered an amazing speech. And I am condensing it to just this. There is a tide in the affairs of men. Do you perceive it now before you? To hesitate is to concede to our own slavery. They signed that document, and I'm old enough to have history books. Remember history books that told me that once they did, those men, those courageous and bold men, fell to their knees afterwards, some in prayer, others wept openly, because they knew that what they had done could have, just as Hancock said, gave up their life for, and many did. So they did something for us like Esther did for a nation. They did for a nation. They did it for us, for people they would never know, people they would never see. They did it for every one of us that are in this room here tonight. And then I want to bring to mind two women, because it is Women's History Month, and I think it's significant that we remember these women, and here's why. Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, they were heavily influenced, and they don't tell you that today. They won't tell you. But did you know that they were influenced greatly by the Second Great Awakening? Every bit as much as our founding fathers were before the Revolutionary War, before that quest for freedom, were influenced by the Great Awakening. The Second Great Awakening, one of the platforms of that awakening, was the abolishment of slavery. Those preachers at the time preached that slavery was a sin. So here's Susan B. Anthony and other women that are working on this, on the abolishment of slavery, and suddenly it occurs to her, wait a minute, I believe, obviously, because I'm working toward that end, that all men are created equal. But if I believe that, then I must believe that women are equal as well. And thus began the suffrage movement, which, ladies, we must be very grateful for, because that allows us today to have a voice in what's going on in Washington, D.C. There was a story, it was in 1902, it was Elizabeth Cady Stanton's 87th birthday. And I believe that Susan B. Anthony, if I remember correctly, penned a letter to her for her birthday, and it was printed in a local newspaper at the time. And again, it was a very long letter, but she said, in essence, we little dreamed when we first began this that it would, a half a century later, we would be handing over this battle to another generation of women. They didn't get to finish it. 50 years they spent on that, and they had to hand it over to another generation of women. And ladies, tonight I ask you, do you want to turn this battle over to another generation of women, or do we want to have this fought and won for our children and their children? These are women, there's so many that fought through difficult times to use their gifts and to lead movements like Kimberly has, to raise up strong families like all of you have, and nurture others. That's what we're here for. And there's no doubt that we have influence. We can do this. We must do it. And I'd like to just end this with something that Ronald Reagan said. And he said, let us be said of us by those who come after us that we did everything we could do to finish the race, to keep the faith, and to keep them free. Do we not want that said of us, that we have done everything that we could by those who come after us? Tonight, we continue to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Moms for America. And I'd like to introduce a woman who has been very much involved in all of this. And there's so many women here, but we're going to introduce a couple of them to you right now. The first one is a former Mrs. South Carolina. She's a mom of two. And we're fortunate to have her on Moms for America's Advisory Council. So please give a warm welcome to Rachel Mack.
Big A, little a. What begins with A? Aunt Annie's alligator. AAA. Dr. Seuss. This was a book I read every single day, every single week, every single year, for years and years to my children. I come from a family of extreme educators. My dad was a principal for 35 years. My mom was also a teacher. Education was such a big part of their life that my dad ended up being a legend in Arizona for the schools that he developed. It was back to basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic. We also were a family of international swimmers. All of my four brothers and I had D1 scholarships for swimming. So swimming was a very, very big part of our life. For me, I struggled a little bit with school. I have two brothers that became doctors. Man, I wish I got some of their genes when it came to school. But because I was so good at swimming, I just kind of skated through school. And because my dad was a principal for 9 of my educational years, when I struggled, the teachers did not want to be the one that were responsible for holding me back. So they passed me to the next grade, year after year. I was still a really fast swimmer, and we put a lot of effort towards that. So eventually, I don't know how I got to college. I don't know how I got my degree, but somehow I went through college and got a degree, even though it was a real big struggle. When I had children, I did not have the confidence to read to them. So this is the reason I read Big A, Little A, What Begins with A, Aunt Annie's Alligator, A, day after day, week after week, year after year. Because it was the confidence level I had to read to my children, but I knew the importance of education and reading to your children. When my kids got older, I was so excited when they got A's. I was so excited that they did not have the learning disabilities I felt like I had. Fast forward, my children have been in public school, and I've been attending the Moms for America Zoom courses, learning about the Constitution, and they kept talking about homeschool, but I just kind of let it go because my kids weren't homeschooled, they were in public. I didn't know that I was going to need the resources of Moms for America. I was driving my middle school son to school, and he looked to me this year and said, how many hours a day would I do homeschool if I just did online? I said, probably 3 or 4. He goes, pull me out of school. Now, my son has been top of his class, number 1 and 2, so is my daughter, through every grade. I pulled him out of school because he said, Mom, the kids are so disrespectful to the teachers. We sit so much. Pull me out of school and let me focus on other things, and I'll get my work done. So fast forward, I pulled my child out of school. I realized that we need to do reading and writing. He's doing the Florida Flex version of school, math and science. We're reading books, and I had him write a paragraph about each book that he wrote. And this is when I realized that my 6th grade 11-year-old son, top of his class, did not know how to spell. The school system is failing our children. With this, I was able to look towards Moms for America and know that I had the support and confidence to pull my child out of school and do what I needed to do best for him. I urge all of you to have the confidence that if you don't think that you can homeschool your children, believe me, you can. I'm grateful that my husband has played such a big role on making sure that me being a stay-at-home mom was the #1 important thing in our children's life. So I love that I have the ability to be able to be at home and watch him do what he's doing, and we've had so much fun with all these extra activities. He's weightlifting, we're working on sports. We're in so many homeschool Facebook groups. There are so many out there that there's an activity we could do every day of the week. You are not alone. Your kids will have socialization if you have a homeschool. To wrap it up, I just wanted to say how grateful I am for Kimberly and for this program and for everything that they offer. There are so many things that they offer for us. My favorite thing that I do with my child is every day we read. We read, he gets the left side, I get the right side, and we fight about who has to read more words on the page. But I'm just happy that I'm reading more than Big A, Little A, What Begins with A, Aunt Annie's Alligator, A.
Our next speaker is a very dynamic teacher and mentor for our moms when it comes to America's history and patriotism. So I'm going to ask you to please welcome Julene Jackson.
Thank you. Come on, mamas. These are the real treasures and prizes of Moms for America, our beautiful mothers. I wanted to bring them on stage tonight. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to share a few thoughts tonight. Next to Kimberly and her wonderful husband, Derek, and daughter, Cassie, I think I have been with Moms for America the longest. I have been on this ride with Kimberly going on 14 years. I admire, Kimberly, your vision, your heart, your passion in this great cause as we shore up the mamas of America as they do the real work in their homes with their marriages and children and neighborhoods and communities. I was with Kimberly when it was just a couple of us mamas literally at the kitchen table. We kind of limped along here. We were so happy when we got, $4,000 in the bank. And then 40,000, and we just knew God was on our side. And then Debbie joined us, and then things really took off. After that, we made ourselves vice presidents. We formed an executive board. I began to teach the moms about the stories and miracles of America, principles of the Constitution and the Founding Fathers. And then we helped form these study groups, these cottage meetings around the country. And Vivian, I started off with her. She's somewhere out there, so grateful that she could be here tonight. And as we would travel around and speak to the mamas and help them organize these small study groups around America, we would hear them tell us how these teachings were changing themselves, changing their marriages, changing the way that they taught their children. Righteous women in their circle of influence, beginning in their home, truly can turn the world around. And we were seeing that firsthand with these cottage meetings. It's been said 10 small discussion groups in a community will do more to create a new way of life than anything else. And I have seen and understand the power of these meetings here. So I started a cottage meeting 14 years ago. Those women still meet today every Wednesday, 9:30 to 11:30. I mean, I've moved out of town and these ladies are still meeting. I wish I could tell you all the things that they've done. It's incredible. But we have one of the originals from that cottage meeting, Tammy Hirsch. She's from Utah. She went through all of the classes, the Healing of America, the 12 Cottage Meeting series, the 5,000-year leap, and then she said, I think I'm gonna lead out the troops in Utah. She's our state liaison. There are 14 cottage meetings underneath her, and she just, testified in front of the entire Utah State Legislature last month. And then she woke her husband up. You know, women, we see the light and then we gently put our foot in the man's behind. And now he has contributed a sizable donation to the Liberty Village down in southern Utah. It's going to be like a mini colonial Williamsburg where young people are going to go and learn the history of America. And then we have Gerald Maglia, a beautiful mother and a grandmother from New Jersey. She went through all the lessons that we taught, and then she said, always we encourage the mamas after they learn these classes, okay, what are you going to do? Ask God, what are you going to do about the things that you have learned? And God put upon her heart to write a healthy relationship curriculum and submitted it to a low graduating class in Newark, New Jersey. They accepted it because they were desperate to get these kids to graduate. And there, she also included a tutoring program during lunch. But she taught the students in this high school that if they will graduate from high school, get married, then have children, they will have less than a 3% chance of growing up or living in poverty. And what happened, so the program has now been 3 years. Last year, over 100 kids went to college that were the first generation from their family to attend because of this program. Now, Gerald started a cottage meeting, and over the last year, the women in her group have gone and testified before school boards, and they have caused 24 school districts to change their transgender policies. And so we are seeing what happens. I was talking to one of the mamas in her cottage meeting. We were there in Trenton last year for a rally. And she said, you know, the Healing of America seminars that we went to, I came home and I told my husband what I was learning. He took the manuals and started teaching his YMCA YMCA after youth program. And so you can see the impact that it had on you, on her husband, and now the youth that he oversees. So there's a darling little mama. She had to go home early this morning. Tyler Otta, she's our state liaison from Virginia. She went through all the classes, and so she became the state liaison. She was a part of that wave of mothers in Virginia that flipped a blue state to red, and Governor Youngkin took over as governor a few years ago. And I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and on the front page of the Washington Post, it said, it was those mothers that turned the election. And Tyler Otta from Our Moms for America, a graduate of all of the classes, she got those principles in her. She has started a cottage meeting. She and another little gal that's in her cottage group put out a Patriots Digest twice a week. It goes all over Virginia and even into the District of Columbia and Maryland. And they talk about things that are going on that week that the mamas can activate in ways that they can better teach their children. And now, guess what Tyler's doing? She's teaching the National Healing of America class. Just last night, she taught mothers all over America the Constitution. And so she's just adorable. I'd really recommend watching her classes every Thursday night. And then we have Liz Ackerman, a beautiful grandmother from Illinois. Liz, for 40 years, has homeschooled her children. So she came to Moms for America. She took all of our classes. And then she said, what can I do? And God put upon her heart. She organizes once a month. We have a webinar for mamas that are homeschooling or are thinking of dipping their toe in the world of homeschooling. And she has called upon people that she has come to know over the course of 40 years. And so every month she hosts a webinar for the moms to come on and be inspired and gain the courage that they can do this homeschooling thing. We have Samantha Hall that went through the classes Healing of America. She is from Pennsylvania. And she said, Jolene, when you told that story about Joan of Arc, how God was with this young 14-year-old and they overcame and beat the English, she said, when the opportunity came for me to run for the school board, I thought of Joan. If God was with Joan, surely God is going to be with me. She ran for the school board. She won. Last year, she convinced some people in her town to also run for the school board and the city council. They all won this fall. She texted me. They flipped the school board and the city council. So a beautiful Rachel has been in my classes. I love Rachel because she always comes on and makes the best comments after class on our online classes. And she told me that as she has learned the various principles and ideas and stories of America, and then as we kind of just break down the Constitution from the viewpoint of the Founding Father and why it would matter to a mother or grandmother, she said, I'm going to start teaching my children every Wednesday, have a constitutional night. And it was probably one of the steps that, as she realized, wait a minute, I can teach the Constitution. Probably God put upon your heart, if I can do this, I can bring my child home. Certainly God will be with me as I homeschool. And then we have Tammy from Texas. Tammy and her beautiful mama, who is back there, Deborah, who is a retired doctor, had a difficult relationship. And they both loved America, so Tammy invited Mama to begin to attend these online classes. And I would see them each week, and they were darling. And she said those classes helped to heal our relationship. And I was just with Mama and Tammy in Mar-a-Lago. We were stuffing the goodie bags, a month or so ago. And then lastly, Tanya Paris and her beautiful Mama. I love when mothers can come and learn together. So during COVID, Tammy taught a cottage meeting to the mothers in Florida. And medical freedom obviously was a huge issue, and the gals in her cottage meeting, when you go and do something with 5 women, you get all kind of courage. And when you learn these principles, you're speaking with authority, and principles transcend party and politics, and you speak always, your position is strengthened, and this is what these women did. In fact, when they went up and met with the legislators, some of the moms told me the legislators were taking notes on constitutional principles because the mothers were schooling them. And Mariana, Tanya's mama, was a part of the women convoy that Moms for America drove all the truckers across the country at that time. Yes, it was awesome. Well, you know, I haven't even mentioned the thousands of mothers over the course of the 14 years I've been with Moms for America that have told me I've started praying with my children. We've started having family devotional. I'm telling them the miracle stories of America. We read out of the Book of Virtues at night before I put the kids to bed. We're starting to eat dinner together. We have a movie night, a patriotic movie night every Friday night. Better yet, we're passing up Disneyland. I'm taking my kids to historical sites instead. Liberty begins at home. I've heard Kimberly say this. I hear it in my sleep when she says, the greatest acts of patriotism that a woman will ever do will occur within the four walls of her home. Moms for America gives these mothers tools and teachings and the courage to stand on that wall and say, just as our biblical mothers did, Lord, here am I. What would you have me do? God bless all of you beautiful mothers here tonight and grandmothers. We are feeling the urgency. The battle is being hotly contested and it's being fiercely fought. And yes, there are days when we are feeling like we are being bloodied and beat up and we are losing left and right. But we know who wins this war. I tell my kids, we have the best player on our side. So just get him off the bench. Get him in your life, get him in your marriage, get him in your home. He will prevail, and we will too as we do our part. I am honored to be fighting this good fight with you all. We will keep at it until the Lord doesn't need us anymore, and I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. Kimberly, it's been an incredible 20 years. Looking forward to the next 20. Thank you so much.
I'd like to introduce now a woman that is amazing. Kimberly, I'm sure you're going to agree that without the Vice President of Moms for America, she's shaking her head, yes, everything that you see, everyone you've heard, everything that happens at these events are because of her. She's an amazing woman. She's a great producer. She's great on air. She's just a fabulous woman all the way around and very talented, as you'll find out very soon. So please welcome the Vice President of Moms for America, Debbie Krolitis. Hey, Debbie.
I didn't think that was going to happen. But I'm dedicating this song to Kimberly, to Moms for America. I wrote the song a few years ago, and when Kim asked me to sing tonight, I just felt like this was the song that would be the best. Because as moms, we are seeing, and as moms, we are hearing, and as moms, we are praying. We're praying for our country. So this is a tribute to Moms for America and to you, Kim.
See star-spangled banners wave. See how every soldier gave. See home of the free and brave. In America, choir sings, and hear the words that the preachers bring, and hear the sound of freedom ring in America. See, hear, and pray for America, and pray for our dreams and our dignity, and pray for God's grace on humanity. Oh, our sweet land of liberty in America. And see and hear and pray for America. Tonight we're celebrating all of the moms in the audience that are fighting for their children, for the dads who are defending their families, and for us, the moms of America, uniting together with courage, because America is our country. Amen? For we're united here, unshakable, we're standing for one cause. America, here's what we must do. See, hear, and pray. It's America. It's America. It's our America. For our freedom. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh,
Thank you.
Oh,
If it's not Kim falling, but you can't come up. You can't come all the way up.
I told you she was multi-talented, didn't I?
That's the
Even
third
on
time
the-
I fell down the stair. You
I
would
wouldn't
think
even
that
go
I would
near
know
that
that.
if I were you. That was awesome. And we did want you to come up just yet, Kimberly, because we have some sweet surprises for you tonight.
All right, Allie, do you want to come up here and just share a little bit real quick? And she has something to present to you, Kim. On behalf of our staff, this is Allie. She's our Civic Engagement Director.
Beautiful.
Good evening, everyone. Are you all having a great time so far?
Let's kill myself.
My, what an incredible couple of days it's been. And while this has started very dauntingly because of where we are in the nation, and a lot of the time, what we go through as moms and what we go through when we're fighting to save our children in this time that we are alive in can be very discouraging. You know, I found Kim. I like to say God put us together. When I was running for school board in 22 in Florida, and she told the most incredible story that will live with me for the rest of my life. It was a great story. I won't bore you. She says it better than I do. So when she hear it, yeah, you hear it. Trust me, you'll cry. I just want to thank you for giving moms a place to call our own. Thank you for answering the call that God has put on your life so that you can help others answer the call. Moms for America has been a saving grace for me. I've grown stronger in my patriotism. I've grown stronger in my faith. And now I have a family of beautiful, strong, wonderful women from all over the world. Guys, did you know we're global? We have moms rising up in Japan and Brazil, all because Miss Kimberly has planted the seeds of freedom in the hearts and minds of women around the nation to rebuild patriotism and culture of liberty in this nation, which is so needed. And so we wanted to give you this present for those times where you feel discouraged. We were on a phone call one day, and we were complaining to each other. Lots of tears were shed. You vented, I vented, and God told me, Allie, you gotta get together with these moms and have them write some things for her to help her in those moments where she feels discouraged. We all need a pick-me-up. And we are here to lift you up because you lift us all up. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for being our modern-day Esther and Deborah. Thank you for instilling that into all of us and letting us realize that Esther and Deborah live within us, that the mothers of the Bible live within us, that the mothers that have helped build this nation live within us. We have dominion over this earth, and we need to walk in it. And you are the example. You are my walking spirit of America. You are the mother of America. So this is for you.
On the heels of this memory book that we did for Kim, a keepsake book, we also did this special video from our staff.
When mother knows and understands the principles of liberty and freedom and reveres and honors the Constitution, so will her children, so will her grandchildren. I'm so grateful for Kimberly Fletcher, for her vision, for her leadership, and for her perseverance. Congratulations on the 20th year anniversary of Moms for America. Here's to another 20. God bless.
To me, you are the walking, talking, breathing spirit of America. So thank you so much for your heart, your passion, and your friendship. For we were all born for such a time as this. Thank you so much. Love you.
I'm grateful for your leadership. I'm grateful for your heart for the Lord, your heart for our country and for family, and for the team that you blessed us with. Here's to 20 more years and to see where this wild ride is going to take us.
Thank you for giving moms like myself the opportunity to fight for our children. Thank you, because I know that we bleed red, white, and blue. We put God, family, and country in that particular order. You are amazing. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we say gracias. We love you, Kim.
You equip us, you empower us, and you encourage us along the way. You were the first one on the battlefield, you were the last one off, and you are William Wallace in female form.
Kimberly, I want to wish you a happy 20th anniversary. Thank you for having me be a part of it all, and it's all due to you. You are the person that this could only happen with. Just want to let you know right now. So thank you very much.
Kimberly, I love that you dream large, you fight strong, and you work hard to make things happen, and that you never back down. I love that you strive hard to embody the spirit of the servant heart, the innovative mindset, and the defender spirit into all those who work for Moms for America. We truly are better off for having known you. Thank you, Kimberly, and God bless you.
I'm grateful for your energy
And I'm grateful that you have the gift of gab. You have people who listen to you, and that's key. I appreciate your voice. I'm with you, sister. Thanks for all you do.
Kimberly's leadership exemplifies the core values of our community, highlighting the importance of respect, understanding, and personal touch in every interaction. She inspires a culture of empathy and opportunity, showing us that effective leadership is about being courageous and uplifting others.
You are really a fearless leader. You are so tenacious. You are eloquent. Gosh, everybody loves it when you speak. You're so inspirational. You're passionate, and you are so devoted. So for that, I say thank you, friend.
Hi, Mom. I just wanted to thank you for raising me as your daughter so I could grow up to become your friend. I have thoroughly enjoyed these last 20 years, and especially the last few years that we've spent traveling together, and I look forward to many more.
I also want to say that you are an incredible warrior, and you are an amazing general for Moms for America. And we all of us here, we love you.
Oh, that was so good. I know. I'm sorry to make you cry. So that's all very heartfelt. And when I said that earlier at the beginning of the show, we all are family. We all feel like we're just part of the sisterhood. And that's what makes this tribe so incredible at Moms for America. It's a culture that's a top down. We're all just friends, and we're here to support each other all along the way. So you and I have been given some awards to some folks, and we've done these beautiful crystal awards, Mother of Influence, Champion of Freedom, Legacy Awards. So I said, we can't do a beautiful award for Kimberly. And everybody was like, what would you name that award? I have got Warrior, Courageous, we've got Deborah's, we've got Lady Liberties, everybody came up with all these incredible names that were just far too many for me to put on an award for you. And so we just really thought about, who is she? She's the founder of this organization. She took that seed and that thought, and she ran with it as a founder. Sometimes people don't run with things. They stop. They don't keep going. I have seen this woman knock down doors, fledge through amazing, I can't even tell you the wars we've been in, the battles, and just committed to getting things done. And she's leaving a legacy. She's leaving a legacy to America and to these kids and these moms that she's constantly touching. So I'm going to give you this award, but before that, I do want to remind everybody that John Rich is coming out for a concert. So nobody leave after this. But I'm going to let Kimberly get up here and speak. I just wanted her to enjoy this night. This is your moment, and you deserve this because you've been just so amazing. So I'm going to bring out the award. We have a beautiful Crystal Cave award that we had Joseph do for you. And it is the Founders Legacy Award for Moms for America for 20 years. And it is just gorgeous. It's like a torch. So this is your award from Moms for America for being an incredible founder and leaving a great legacy. You can now come up, Miss Kimberly Fletcher. Let's do the balloons. Let's go. There we go. I couldn't get a balloon drop, but I got a balloon fly up. Come on in. Do you want to see that?
Okay, it reminds me of 2017 when you guys tortured me like this. Oh my gosh, you've already heard from me so much, and I'm not sure I can speak, and y'all want to hear John Rich. One thing that I want to make sure and say is I have the most amazing team on the planet. I want to thank Pastor Troy Jackson for giving us a venue to hold this event. For Pastor Huck and his wife who are so willing to welcome us in. We put this thing together in just over 2 months. That's crazy. I think the amazing team that we have, from the moms who work with me every day to those who are fighting so hard everywhere where they are, I marvel at them. I absolutely marvel at them. The things that they accomplish, the things that they do. And you know, when you give someone hope back, that's a thing. And the things that we teach in our cottage meetings gives hope and encouragement to these moms. And God does touch their heart. And then they go where he leads them. And the stuff that happens is magical. There are so many more stories Jolene could have given. And that deserved a standing ovation. They're amazing. But I want to thank my husband. There is no way I could do this without him. You need to have that strong partner by your side. And I would love to tell you all of the amazing things that he has done over the last 20 years to keep this thing going, including writing several checks sometimes. But you know, everybody has their weaknesses, and I can stand up here and talk, and I've sung before thousands of people, and that's never bothered me. But when my printer stops working, or my computer starts glitching, I'm like, what do I do? And in comes this white knight galloping on his horse and pushes a little button and says, "There you go, baby." He's my technological genius. Turn it off, turn it on. Learn that. I could not do this without this man. And my family, who has all been here, if you guys have seen them, my children and my grandchildren, this was a real treat because I'm away from home so much, and I got to have them with me, and that was God's greatest blessing for this event. The amazing people that I meet when I go around the country, the stories that I hear of those that are concerned and suddenly are fused with hope, that is what keeps me going. All of you moms, how many of you are wearing purple hats? I want to see them. You're wearing your purple glitter hats? Turn them on if you're wearing them. We had our leader training on Thursday. They all got these really nice purple glitter hats that light up. I just wanted everybody to see who they are. I said it at the training day. I'll say it again. Those ladies are the wind beneath my wings. And when I can't get up in the morning, my husband reminds me, go look at the email that mom sent you, thanking God that you guys are out there. So I want to thank God for all of them for being out there, and for my husband who makes sure I keep getting up and not giving up. Thank you.
I told her not to do what Debbie did. Debbie, it's the only way I could explain it. Don't do what Debbie did. All right, so this has been a great evening, and we're going to finish it with something very great. And this guy, he's obviously a great patriot, right? You all know that. But the other thing that I think is so important and so very special to all of us here in this room, especially at Moms for America, is that he has been such a good friend to Moms for America. And for that, we appreciate him, do we not? How he supported them so much. So please welcome John Rich. Enjoy.
Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Congratulations on 20 years of bringing the fight to the bad guys. Can I get a yee-haw one time? Huh? Where's Kimberly sitting? Hi, front row. Congratulations. It's an honor to be associated with you and put our fists up together, you know, and make some stuff happen. How many states now are working on that bill that we started talking about? 7 or 8? 7 states. You're a national treasure. Somebody should make a statue out of you next to a swimming pool. It would be incredible. Well, I'm John Rich. It's nice to be with you all tonight. And trying to think about what I'm going to sing tonight, but I know the crowd I'm singing to. I am wondering, though, towards the end of the show, would it be okay to sing Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy in a church? I mean, is there any chance I get struck by lightning if I do that inside of a church? We'll see. Before I get started, how about a round of applause for my band tonight, guys? Don't they sound good? Best band in the business right there. All right, so how about I sing some songs that you want to hear? Can I do that? A few years ago, I decided that I was going to say what I wanted to say and be who I wanted to be. And my whole existence, right out of high school, had been in the music industry. I wanted to play the Grand Ole Opry, wanted to sell platinum records, I wanted to write #1 songs, and I did all those things a few times, actually. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I realized I was the guy yelling at the TV, but then suiting up and walking on the red carpet with all the people I was just yelling at, and that's called hypocrisy. So I didn't like that. Made me feel bad. Now I'm raising 2 boys, Cash and Colt. They're 12 and 14. And I said, man, that ain't no kind of blueprint for them. I mean, what are they, if I'm looking at this in 24, what's it gonna look like in 34, 44, 54? What's that gonna be like? So I decided, you know what? Well, we'll see what happens. I know I'll lose the whole industry and all the country radio, but I'm gonna say what I wanna say, and I'm gonna write songs that speak what I'm feeling at this exact moment, because after all, that is the essence of country music. Can I get a yee-haw one more time? Mr. Soundman, give me a little more volume up here, please, sir. You gotta understand, I've been doing Big and Rich shows for a long time, so I can barely hear anything anymore unless it's loud. A little bit more, that's better. Come on up with it. This is a song that I wrote a couple years ago, and with no record label, no publishing company, no funding of any kind whatsoever. I put this song out, and it became the #1 most downloaded song on iTunes of all genres for 2 weeks. Would you like to know who #2 was that whole time? Beyonce. Now, who is #3? Lizzo. Who is #4? Billie Eilish. So we had those 3 girls seeing this guy with no record deal and a cowboy hat and a handlebar mustache sitting at #1 for 2 weeks. So if you downloaded this, thank you. This song is called Progress. Well, there's a hole in this country where its heart used to be, and Old Glory is divided on fire in the street. They say building back better will make America great. If that's a wave of the future, all I've got to say is stick your progress where the sun don't shine. Keep your big mess away from me and mine. If you leave us alone, well, we'd all be just fine. Stick your progress where the sun don't shine. They invite the whole world to come live in our land and leave our countrymen dying in Afghanistan. They say let go of Jesus and let government save. And you can have back your freedom if you do what we say. Stick your progress where the sun don't shine. Keep your big mess away from me and mine. If you leave us alone, well, we'd all be just fine. Stick your progress where the sun don't shine. They shut down our pipelines and they shut down our voices. Shut down our main streets and they shut down our choices. They bent us all over, but it's all over now. 'Cause we figured it out, yeah. We ain't backing down. Come on now. Stick your progress where the sun don't shine. Keep your big mess away from me and mine. If you leave us alone, well, we'd all be just fine. Stick your progress where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Where the sun don't shine. Kimberly likes it. This show is really for you, honestly. I'm singing straight to the front row tonight. Oh, yeah, they hated that. iTunes tried to kick it off. They said, oh, we can't let that be number one. They tried, and then my attorney called them. Then they put it back on, and it stayed there for another week. Isn't that cool? I mean, we can beat this thing, okay? I guess the reason I tell you that story is to tell you that you can beat the system. I mean, the system is nasty and evil and all these things, as we all have learned here in the past several years. The whole system's nasty, but you can beat them. You can. So don't think you can't. Don't wake up in the morning going, what am I going to do? There's nothing I can. No. See, they got their fists up, and they've had them up for a long time, and they just keep beating and banging on us all the time because they don't think we'll ever stand up and put our fists back up in the other direction. You know, bullies don't like people that punch them back. They don't like that. They don't look so tough when you break their nose one time. Can I get a yeehaw? I would say something else. But... So, want to play a song that I wrote about 3 years ago, and I put this one out. This was the first one I ever did outside of having a record deal. I didn't know how it was going to go. Didn't really care because I didn't write this song as a piece of commerce. I wrote it because the boss hit me right in the back of the head with it one day, and in about less than 60 minutes, I had written this song. I put it out there, and Franklin Graham heard it, and Franklin said, that's quite a song. I said, yeah, I'm going to shoot a video on it. I don't know what to do yet. And he goes, how about Samaritan's Purse? Can we put them in the mix of it? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And so I donated every single dollar that's ever come in and that ever will come in on this song to Samaritan's Purse. And last the accounting said we was about $118,000 back to them on this song. So it did a good job. And so the way this song came about was I was looking through my window and all the riots were happening, and then that's when they said, put on your mask, and not long after that, you got to shoot this in your arm or you're going to lose your job. And in my case, you can't play a concert if you can't show me that you shot that in your arm or your fans didn't or whatever. And I told them, I said, you know what? You can go straight to hell because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Little thing called the Nuremberg Code says that that's illegal. Last time I checked, and I have the internet too, so I can read it. You guys are in violation of the Nuremberg Codes, the way I looked at it. I still have an active lawsuit in the state of Arizona right now for canceling a concert because they changed the rules on the show and said all the fans had to show their medical paperwork to get in the room. I said, cancel. We're suing you. I said, good, because I will be there. I will be in the courtroom. I cannot wait. Please, God, can we take this all the way down the line? So you may see me in a courtroom here pretty soon in Arizona, taking these monsters on. Do I look scared to you? I mean, seriously. I'm chewing bubble gum and playing a rhinestone Gibson guitar that says Scream on the back. I'm not exactly concerned about some numbskull in Arizona. So don't threaten me with a good time, is what I have to say about that. Miss Hobbs? Arizona, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, there's an Arizona guy suing me over canceling a show out there, so. You know what? We should just pack the house. We should pack the house, sister. Let's pack it. Come on. Well, I'll let you know when the court date is. I can't wait. Oh, I'll be sitting there eating donuts. It's gonna be good. So this is the song that I wrote when all that was going on. And the picture I had in my head before I wrote this song was of an old, like, World War II guy sitting in front of an old CB microphone, you know, the big ones that look like that, and they're pressing the button. And the old man sitting there going, he's pressing the button, he's saying, "Earth to God, come in, God. Earth to God, come in, God." And what does humanity want to hear coming back? This is God, come back, Earth. Right? I said, well, I got to write that. So I wrote this song. It did very well. Raised a bunch of money for people that need it. The song's called Earth to God. Earth to God, come in, God. I know you're there, hearing our prayers wherever you are. We need you now to send your love down. Take away the pain in your holy name. We ask this now. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God. We're holding on, but not for long. Pull us all close to the Holy Ghost and keep us strong. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God, come in, God. 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 Earth to God, come in. Thank y'all. I think one important thing to remember in 2024 as the war rages is to keep your sense of humor. The thing they hate the most is when you mock them. They mock us all the time. They ain't used to having it coming in the other direction. What's that Bible verse say? Resist the devil and he will flee from you. He will run if you just resist him. I look at the word resist and go, oh, if I mock him, if I just make fun of him and start laughing at him, like just laughing. I mean, it's the worst feeling in the world when you say something real serious and they just laugh at you. That's the worst. So if we feel like that, they also feel like that. And they're actually wicked, so they hate it. So as a songwriter, I thought, well, I'll just write a song about how ridiculous this whole situation is, and I'll just mock them up one side and down the other. And I'll record that and put it out. So this is a little song called I'm Offended. Stop, come on. I'm offended. It seems like these days, no matter what you say, someone's losing their ever-loving mind. It's like they're looking for a reason to have their fragile feelings hurt every single time. My country truck, I gas it up. You got your fancy Tesla hooked up to a plug. I know you're mad, you think I'm bad, 'cause I'm breathing free at last and you're still stuck behind your mask and I'm offended. You're offended, let's all get offended tonight. I'll order us a beer, we can sit down right here and scream and yell and cuss and fuss and fight. Now hang on just a minute, you can't amend the First Amendment. You're offended, I defend it all the time. So let's take another sip. Don't hold back and let it rip, 'cause in the end you'll be left and I'll be right. Come on, 'cause I'm offended. You're offended. Let's all get offended tonight. I'll order us a beer, we can sit down right here and scream and yell and cuss and fuss and fight. I like to shoot my .22. Somehow it seems to always trigger you. Bang, bang. I talk to God, you think that's odd, 'cause you say he don't exist, so why are you so pissed? I'm offended. Say with me. You're offended. Let's all get offended tonight. I'll order us a beer, we can sit down right here and scream and yell and cuss and fuss and fight. Hell, order us a beer, we can sit down right here and scream and yell and cuss and fuss and fight. Oh, they hated that one. Trust me, they hate it. Do you want the enemy to think highly of you? I mean, at the end of the day, really, how could you sleep at night if the enemy thought well of you? Let's make sure they don't. We don't need them, we got us. We're fine. We're fine. We don't need them. How many veterans or active duty do we have in the room? Anybody that served the country? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right here. Yes, sir. Yep, yep. Yes, ma'am. I see you right there. Salute. Look in the back over here. We'd like to say thank you for your sacrifice and for your service to the United States of America. And may God bless you and every generation of your family to follow. Can I get a yeehaw one time? We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for what you've done. This is a song that I wrote about my granddaddy, World War II veteran, and if I asked you right now to think about a picture that's hung up in your house or something in an old picture library back in the day of your ancestors, you're gonna think of somebody. And you probably saw them in a uniform, and that's your heritage, that's your legacy. Those are the shoulders you stand upon at this exact minute. Can you see them in your head? Yep. So for me, was my granddaddy, fought in World War II. He was about 5'5", 120 pounder. Lied about his age, said he was 18 when he was 17 because he just wanted to go, as he would say, kill the Japs. That's what he said. He just wanted to kill them. That's how they talked. Because they bombed Pearl Harbor. And so he said, let me go. I want to go. He's a Kentucky hillbilly guy, little bitty guy. He was one of those guys, if you said, hey, Bill, shoot that squirrel, his answer was left eye or right eye? With a .22 short. You know what I mean? Little bitty rifle. So he got in there, and by the time he was out of World War II, he had about 600 confirmed kills. They turned him into a guy called a tunnel rat. And the tunnel rats, their whole job was to go into a cave and flush the Japanese out the other side of the cave. And they had every kind of booby trap you can imagine. So he was hit with white phosphorus hand grenades and shot in the chest with bamboo bullets. I said, what's a bamboo bullet? He said, well, they ran out of lead towards the end of the war, so they started putting bamboo slugs on the end of them, and I got hit with one. And my Granny Rich said for 20 years after World War II, every now and then he'd go, hey, what's this on the back of my neck? Or what's this on my elbow? Or whatever. And she'd get the tweezers out and she'd start working on it. It'd be a little sliver of bamboo that had worked its way back out. He was hooked on morphine for 2 years when he came back home, weaned himself off of that, became a farmer, and died at 80 years old. So one of my biggest regrets is I should have written this song while the old man was still alive. I wrote it about a month after he died. So I'll dedicate this to him, all of our active duty, all of our veterans in here that just raised their hand, the boys and girls overseas in harm's way, and the 13 plus that never came back from Afghanistan. They will never be forgotten. This is called The Man. Give me a little more volume, son. Well, he was one of the millions who signed up to defend us long ago in 1941. And when they sucker punched us in Pearl Harbor, he fought under MacArthur 17 with an Army Thompson gun. Well, he stormed a lot of beaches, slept in jungles with the leeches. He saw things a young man should never see. And when they shot him in the shoulder, he got back up and he marched forward. Left a lot of brothers dead in Kwajalein. And if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, there wouldn't be a breath of freedom in this land. When I see people on my TV taking shots at Uncle Sam, well, I hope they always remember why they can. 'Cause we don't be speaking German or living under the flag of Japan. If it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, can I get a yell now? Now I'm the grandson of a soldier, and I'd fight the whole world over if duty called and freedom's on the line. But thanks to the greatest generation and the ones still fighting for our nation, I've never had to kill for my way of life. And if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, there wouldn't be a breath of freedom in this land. When I see people on my TV taking shots at Uncle Sam, I hope they always persuasion men why they can't. 'Cause we don't be speaking German or living under the flag of Japan. If it wasn't for the good Lord and the man, if it wasn't for the good Lord and the man. He was one of the millions who signed up to defend us long ago in 1941. And when they sucker punched us in Pearl Harbor, he fought under MacArthur 17 with an Army Thompson gun. Kimberly, do you have any requests? I'd like to just play a song for you. What do you want to hear? I already played I'm Offended. Yeah, I know, right? You're the ultimate offender for 20 years running. Congratulations. Everybody hates you. It's perfect. Yay! Anything else? You got anything on your mind? I mean... Kimberly wants to hear Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Oh my goodness. Such a rebel. So my dad started preaching at 19 years old, and he still preaches. He's a prison preacher. So he goes and preaches in the prisons, and he is something else, man, to listen to. I doubt he could fill this auditorium week in and week out, because what he has to say is pretty daggum hardcore, you know. People don't want to hear that every single day. But you ask him, why are you preaching in prisons, Dad, when you could probably be preaching in a big church? He said, because they need to hear it more than anybody. That's why he goes there. Never made any money, nothing like that, man. He's just come right at you with what it says. So you can imagine when his oldest son has a song called Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. This was an interesting conversation over the Thanksgiving table. It was so comfortable for me. He said, yeah, son, heard you're doing pretty good. I said, yeah, we're doing all right. Yeah, doing pretty good. He said, what's this new song you guys got out? Something about a horse or something? I said, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. He said, yeah, that's it. He said, you think you ought to be singing things like that? I said, well, the first song you ever taught me was Folsom Prison Blues, where he said, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. So I don't know what you expect, because... He said, that's fair point, fair point. He said, son, do you intend on tithing on this song? 100%, 10%, if not more. He goes, well, all right, I hope it's a big hit for you. That's what my dad said. I said, thank God. Can I eat some fried chicken now, please? That was very uncomfortable, but this song did pretty good. I'm fairly certain that it caused a small baby boom in the early 2000s, this song did. Thank you guys for inviting me to your 20th year. Congratulations to Kimberly Fletcher being a real patriot, a real leader, and somebody that the world has to deal with right here on the front row. It's an honor to be associated with you, ma'am. Let's have some fun. Well, I walk into the room, passing out $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. High by the bar, triple round a crown. Everybody's getting down in this town. It ain't never gonna be the same. Y'all sing it, 'cause I saddle up my horse and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise 'cause the girls they are so pretty. I be riding up and down Broadway, my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, Save us, ride a cowboy. Everybody say, save us, ride a cowboy. Get it, Kimberly. Yeah, well, I don't give a dang about nothing. I'm singing and bling blinging while the girls are drinking. Long necks down, and I wouldn't trade old Leroy my Chevrolet for your Escalade, your freak parade. I'm the only John Wayne left in this town, and I saddle up my old and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. Riding up and down Broadway on my old stud Leroy. And the girls say, save us, ride a cowboy. Everybody say, save us, ride a cowboy. Y'all having a good time tonight in Dallas, Texas? Come on out. Oh yeah, Kimberly cutting a rug now. Here we go. Hey, well, I'm a thoroughbred, that's what she said. The back of my truck bed as we was getting buzzed on suds out on some backcountry road. We were flying high, flying as wine, having ourselves a Moms of America time. I was going about as far as she let me go. Yeah, but her evaluation of my cowboy reputation had me begging for salvation all night long. Yeah, I took her around gigging frog, introduced her to my old bird dog, sang every Willie Nelson song I could think of. We made love and I saddle up my old and I ride into the city. I make a lot of noise, cause the girls, they are so pretty. I be riding up and down Broadway with my old stud Leroy, and the girls say, save us, ride a cowboy. Everybody say, save us, ride a cowboy. What? Save us, ride a cowboy. Last time, everybody sing it. Save us, ride a cowboy. Happy 20th anniversary to Moms of America. I'm John Rich. God bless y'all.
All right, tomorrow we still have some wonderful things happening on stage here. Go out with joy tonight and be led forth in peace. And if we could have the team members of Moms for America on stage, please, so we can get a photograph. Team members, Moms for America, come on stage.